Hey everyone, I'm back once again with the first question on externalities that stumped us that we never got back to. And I fully admit I had to take this one to the Facebook world to ask people that know better than I do. And I actually got a response from Jacob Reed himself, the guy, not Jacob Clifford, but the guy that does reviewecon.com. He responded in like 2 minutes with the part I couldn't figure out. And it makes sense now that he has explained that to me. So I'm going to explain it to you. So anyway, here we go. With this one, once again, it's an externality dealing with a monopoly. So that was kind of the confusing part to us. So first of all, we identify the monopolist profit maximizing quantity and profit maximizing price. Well, that's going to be where MR equals MC, which is going to be right here at Q3. Okay, the quantity is going to be Q3 because that's where the marginal revenue right here equals the marginal cost, which is the marginal private cost. Okay, you have to remember that when we're dealing with externalities, that marginal private cost is the marginal cost. Okay, but they're going to charge. Remember, they're going to go up here and charge P4. So the profit maximizing price was P4. And I believe we got that far in class. We didn't have any issues with that much. So what information in the graph indicates that there is a negative externality? Well, that is because the marginal social cost is greater than the marginal private cost. So there is an additional cost to society that is greater than the individual cost to the individual firm. Now we're going to find the socially optimal quantity. Well, that is always going to be, in any case, in any externality, where the marginal social cost equals the marginal social benefit. So that's going to be right there. So the socially optimal quantity is also at Q3, which is kind of weird, but it is. Okay, now here's the part we couldn't figure out. So in the case in which the government imposes a per unit tax equal to the marginal external cost, identify each of the following. So here's the part of that that's really the helpful part. So the tax is equal to the marginal external cost, the additional cost here, that the additional cost to society. Well, that additional cost to society is represented by the vertical distance between these two curves. So it's the amount between these two curves. That is the amount. Think about like taxes. The amount of the tax is represented by the distance, the vertical distance between those two supply curves. So that's what's happening here. So that is why the distance between these two curves is here and here. So that is why the dollar value of the tax is P4 minus P1. Because here's P4, P1. That's the vertical distance between those curves. Okay. Now, the profit maximizing quantity. This is the part that stumped me and I had to go to Facebook for. So, but I'm gonna erase this for a second so you can see things a little bit better. But let me explain to you what I found out. And again, it makes sense when you think about it this way. Okay, so we're going to tax the amount that is represented by the vertical distance between these two curves. So what that's going to do is it's going to shift the marginal private cost curve, the marginal cost curve, over to where the marginal social cost curve is currently. So basically, they're all going to shift over. And so this one is going to become the marginal private cost, okay? So this becomes marginal private cost or marginal cost, and where MR equals MC is right there then, if that is the case, if that actually shifts over. So that's what's happening, is they're just shifting both over to the left. And so therefore the new quantity is going to be Q2. So that is why that is the answer. That one is a little complicated, but hopefully now that you've seen that, that makes it a little bit easier. Okay. Now the last part there about the deadweight loss, as far as given the monopoly, I'm sorry, I'm going to read this. I'm looking off to the side. Given the monopoly facing the negative externality, would the deadweight loss increase, decrease, or stay the same as a result of imposing the per unit tax? And to explain, well, in that case, the answer is that the deadweight loss is going to increase. Oh, lost my place. Because the socially optimal quantity was Q3, And the quantity after the tax is Q2, which is less than what it was. So that means there's going to be dead weight loss. They're making less, so there's going to be more dead weight loss because there's more missed opportunities, more missed transactions there. So I hope that helps. And hopefully, if you see a question like this, you'll be a little bit better equipped than you were before.